Let's talk about companies before we get to the break here. I want to talk about Brown-Forman. Gosh, the alcohol industry is really having some difficulties here. Beverages, they're in the industry of beverages, wineries, and distilleries. No concern yet on the short side, only 0.2%. Well, this is strange. And again, we saw 2 shares on stock. We almost didn't do this one because there's a Class A and a Class B. It only shows 12% institutional ownership on the Class A shares. So,
on the Class A, I'm looking at the Class B because I don't have data on the Class A.
Oh, you know what? On my screen here, it came up Class B. So something.
Are you Class B or Class A?
What shows Class A? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody put on Class A.
The valuations will still be the same, though. The company's underlying fundamentals should not be different.
I just switched over to Class B.
Perfect.
So, okay, now it's a different story. Now short is 9.7%. Institutional ownership is 66.3%, which is pretty low. The PE ratio does look good, though, 14.4 versus 26.3. Price to sales, 3.2, above the industry at 2. Price to book value, 3.1 versus 2.4. Price of cash flow, 21 versus 12. No PEG ratio, so you really don't know what you're paying for the future growth of this company. Now, Brown-Forman actually is doing okay, and I say that because their earnings only fell 2.3% over the past year. Industry down 24.1% over the last year. Sales declined by 3.2%, which was worse than the industry at a negative 0.7%. 5-year growth rate for Brown-Forman from the analyst is only, well, it's a loss of 0.7%. Industry 1.3. They do pay a dividend here. They pay a 3.4% dividend, use 42% of their earnings to pay that out. Taking a quick look at the balance sheet, wow, current ratio 3.5 versus 2, so a lot of liquidity. And the debt's in check as well at 0.8 versus 1.3. They do have a nice net profit margin, 24.5%, well above the industry at 10.8. Return on equity is 25.9 versus 21.6, and free cash flow $534 million versus 1.5 billion for the industry.
Current price here for Brown-Forman, again, their ticker symbol is BF.B, $26.44. They actually did hit a 52-week low today at $26.33. 52-week high is $49.89. Stock has just not been a good performer. The last 5 years, down about 60%. Last 10 years, down about 32%. Going forward, I go out to April 2027 as they do report on a fiscal basis. I see estimated earnings per share of $1.75. Gives us a target sell price here of $29.05. So I'm going to say just slightly above that current level, about 10% above that current level. I don't think at this valuation the risk is worth the reward. And they do, Jack Daniels, Woodford Reserve, they're very heavy in the whiskey. The problem is if people are drinking less, whiskey is a very long-term investment because you have to age in the barrels. Clearing out that inventory is going to be a difficult challenge if drinking continues to remain as light as it has been.
Yeah, drink the scotch, but don't buy the stock.
Yeah.
So, do they do scotch? I don't know.
I think whiskey's their big thing.
Whiskey's, okay.